Send me some photographs, I'll put up on the website.
Yeah.
Now you start wearing a hoodie. Absolutely.
We're quite explicit within the guerrilla geography bit that we believe in sort of agendas around social justice, in particular sort of political issues. We don't think children should be away from that. So, you know, the issue about, you know, putting old people in hoodies, that's a very real issue for children, you know. And we had another mission to make into a book about going somewhere where there's a mosquito, you know, that high-pitched noise that sort of, and going to do the equivalent.
Ambulance, it's a trust. There is no money there, but we're working with them on first aid training, their training courses of their paramedics. The local university does the paramedic course now, and they're working on training scenarios, etc., and working with us in schools. And voluntary organisation-wise, St John Ambulance, of which in my spare time I am a member, and the Red Cross. And this year the Red Cross have actually funded their own first aid project on the back of the life skills visit for year sixes. They have gone into, or given information to schools to say there is a free opportunity, 2-3 hour free first aid course. If you've been to life skills, give us a call, sign up for it. So they've done the whole life skills scenarios, they've done a basic first aid course with us, or 10 minutes, and then they can, Red Cross are going into schools as well to give that extra experience on first aid. So once again, that's that partnership working. Local authorities. Video cameras on. We do not get any actual finance from local authorities. We're an independent charity. We are in a Bristol City Council building. Every year we negotiate with Bristol City Council, and we have been rent-free for the last 10 years. That basically saves us £65,000 worth of fundraising. We are extremely lucky because of that. Basically there is no income for the City Council, but also there's no expenditure, so that's how they're getting away with it. How I'll get away with it when I want to develop upstairs, and we're trying to look rent-free for that as well, and how we negotiate that I do not know yet. But I'm hoping that as long as there's no actual expense to the City Council, so I will raise all the funds for capital build, then they will not charge me the rent on it. But that's what I've got to negotiate with them. Local authorities, emergency services, utilities, water, gas, electricity. We've worked very closely with over the years. We get some money from each year, which basically, you know, pays towards the ongoing education and the messages that we put across to all of our groups. All of these agencies are providing the messages as well as paying for money to keep the place going. Some organisations recognise that we do the interactive safety education at age 10-11, which is our target age group. Therefore, they will go in and do an intervention at age 5, 6, 7, leave us to 10, 11, go back into schools at 14, 15, 16, so there's actually 3 hits. Fire service, for example, extremely good. They know those 3 hits are there. Whereas others, that's the only intervention that the children will get on our visit. They don't actually go into schools or do any other interventions. What I missed. NHS trusts. Random from year to year what we might get. It's been well publicised that the local NHS trusts have got no money whatsoever and have had debts for the last 7 years. Last year we managed to get an increase. We've got 4 NHS trusts in this area. Literally 3 of them will give us £2,000 a year. Bristol last year increased our funding because they wanted us to develop the programme for working with parents of 0 to 5-year-olds through children's centres. In Bristol alone, I think there are now 26 children's centres, and we've started just to get those network links up together so that we can start to educate into that age group, and obviously make 0 to 5-year-olds a lot safer. It is a completely different programme from anything we've ever done before, so we've really got to look at the programme. At the moment we're trying to fit it in alongside everything else, which does not work, which is another reason for trying to develop upstairs, but it's that funding link again. Hopefully the NHS will be able to find a lump sum because they want us to develop this programme big time. And that's where we're looking at the moment, and looking at different people's motivations. We have a shop, Summerfield Supermarket, which will be co-op in 3 weeks' time. They are funding it. So once again, it's the partnership working. Co-op have got involved, they've seen what we've got, and they've said, right, we will come in, we will refurbish. Another scenario that we're updating over the summer is our fire scenario. Anyone's been to Safe Side, Safety Centre in Birmingham, they've got a burnt out carcass of a room. We are replicating that at Life Skills. That will be there just as a quick hit at the end of the scenario. Fire service are funding it. They're funding their member of staff to actually make the internal framework walls, get all the kit together. It's a nightmare trying to torch the thing. It's been going on for 6 months now, trying to get permission because they can't do real fire training in certain areas now. But I've been assured that within the next month it will be done over the summer, so that as of September that will be done. But once again, it's the partner organisations working with us to better develop the work that we're doing.
The idea is that we will get together in groups and talk about the things that you're interested in. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to ask you to have a little bit of time to think about some of the things that you might want to. You've already had a chance to see the type of people that are here. What sort of issues are important to you? If you have a particular question that you would like to ask, then this is your opportunity to get a group together to discuss it. Now, I've started off, have I spelt your name wrong, Chris? Sorry.
Don't worry.
I've known you long enough, I should. I realised when I put it up there, I'm thinking of rivers. I've started off the question that I'm particularly interested in, and I know as coordinators we're interested in. What else would you like CSEC to be doing for members? So I've asked Chris very kindly to chair that session. But if you have a question you would like to ask, I'd like to pop it up here, and whoever asks the question, we ask them to chair a session. And it's literally not as scary as it sounds. We're going to be breaking off into groups for 10-15 minutes. And it'll be a 10-15 minute discussion with people who are interested. So, we will run one session of 10 minutes, or 15 minutes probably. And we'll all go, we'll discuss it. You'll come back with some ideas. Whoever's chairing the session, if you could jot down some of the main points that came out of the discussion. And then if we could ask you to just informally report back very quickly on some of the main points that came out of your discussion. Because it might be that when we fill these in, you might want to go to a couple of discussions that would be particularly interesting for you. So, you don't have to stay in the one discussion. If you want, you can flit around between discussions, or you can stay in the one place. Completely up to you. Because what we want is for you to get out of this what you need to get out of it. You might find that if you put a question up, the conversation might naturally go in a different direction. That's fine. It might no longer be relevant for you, so feel free to go and join another group. It's completely up to you guys. Okay? So what we're going to do is, I've put up a sheet here, and a sheet up at the back. And if there's anybody who really doesn't feel that any of the discussions are interesting to them, you could also spend some time looking at resource profiler if you wanted in here. So you can stay in here and do resource profiler. Or, I'll ask you in a little minute to have a little think about questions to put up. So I've started here, pop up a question. If you think of another one, we're looking for 5 more questions from you about things that you would like. Or it just doesn't have to be a question, it can be a discussion topic, something that you're interested in. I have no idea what you're going to say. It's going to be very interesting for us to see what it is that you want to talk about. We'll fill these in, and then we'll have the first discussion up at the back here, where we have the poster. And we will let you talk about what you want to. And then bring you back in, and then a quick recap of what it is you've done. And then we'll go back for session 2. So, one group we'll probably take into the marquee, and if it's not too heavy, I'll take it through there so you know what you're talking about. And we'll do this